Welcome to a brand new 5-Hour Podcast live and in living color on Thursday night on the Coronation YouTube, Facebook, and X platforms. We are your hosts. The lovable loser, emphasis on loser.
Greg.
Greg.
I think that defines our program, not a person, just the program.
Fine. And chiming in before I've officially announced her. With the 15,842nd interruption, Minnie.
Hi.
I was going to have had a very nice introduction planned.
Okay. Sorry. Let's start over.
No, can't do that. It's too late.
Yeah, we can. Okay. Well,
Hey,
let's get this show started. I'm good. I'm really good. Wonderful. I'm excited because I've been working feverishly on my hopes and dreams of becoming a movie screenwriter one day.
How's it working for you?
We'll see. I don't know. Right. We'll have to see.
What about, well, hopefully it goes better than your hopes and dreams of being a chain gang team member.
Yeah, that's not quite fair. Okay. I didn't realize how difficult the chain gang is to get into. Okay.
What? I'm Smeary, you're in HD, and I'm on a Game Boy. I think a lot of it has to do with my light that I had for a long time now just died. Like it
went
away. So my lighting is subpar, we'll say. I don't know if this will do anything for the smeariness. I'm not
Greg.
What?
Why don't you go get a lamp?
There's a lamp right there. It's just over there.
All right. Do you have an overhead light?
I have one right there, but it backlights the back of my head.
Your bald spot?
Yeah, I mean, I'll turn on all the lights, and y'all can say, "Nope, this is just Greg. Just turn your camera off." and be better if we couldn't see anyway, Greg. I mean, I'll happily let me turn on this middle.
Yeah, you are blurry.
I don't.
And it's like shoddy.
What do you mean shoddy?
Like it's almost. Oh gosh, this is okay. You guys know I love Andy, who does the Tuesday night show, Husker Happy Hour. But I swear, every week he has one like issue after another, and this is kind of what it feels like right now. Groundhog's Day. I feel like your USB and your camera issues have internet issues have been problems before.
I don't think I've had. It looks like I smeared bacon grease on my camera. I haven't been in Iowa. I haven't been handshaking any Iowa cheerleaders, so I shouldn't have bacon grease anywhere around me. Says maybe my internet, I was freezing up. I was like, you guys got to tell me this stuff. Like, I don't watch the show back, so I don't
yeah, you're definitely like hiccuping.
Yeah, I don't know what to do. Let me put my phone on airplane mode and utilize as much bandwidth as possible.
Yeah, your haircut is looking perfectly something. I don't know.
Teabagable. You want 2 G's in that spelling there, Pitt.
Well, Greg, what is going on in the Husker world lately?
There are things that I'd like to talk about. I'm not allowed to talk about outside.
Okay, no, I think it's. Quit saying that. Yes, you are allowed to talk about things.
I don't know. I got yelled at. In fact, I want to pull the community here. This wonderful group of individuals. Do you all want?
Greg, you need to leave.
Fine, bye.
like delayed and everything. I'm sorry, but you got to go.
I'm trying. Can't even leave the studio, right?
Oh my. What is going on? Okay. Hi. Now it's just us, guys. Again, as usual. Okay, so for tonight, I know Greg had some really exciting things planned for us. We're going to talk a little bit about volleyball because apparently we're like pretty cool in the volleyball world, as well as basketball. That's underway. And we will probably talk a little bit about football even. And he's back. And I think he's better. Speak. Nope.
Is this better? Can you hear me now?
No, you're delayed. Yeah, the volleyball girls are ninjas.
Wait, don't talk about volleyball. We're not allowed to talk about volleyball.
Well, what am I going to talk about? You're not here. You're barely here, actually. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. Is it my internet that's messing up?
I'm going to blame you.
If it's my fault, I can leave and come back.
Maybe. See, Mark Ryan says it's better.
Okay.
So,
is it watchable?
Is it ever?
I don't know. I have no idea.
All right, so I have a question that I want to
Greg,
pose.
you do know you can do StreamYard on your phone.
No, because I can't control anything that way.
I can control things. You don't need to.
We've seen how that works, though.
I can control things. I do it most nights.
Well, that's not entirely accurate.
Yes.
You're
a control freak. That's what it is.
Yeah. And Worship's Water's not wrong. She's been plotting a takeover for almost 2 years now. Yep, I understand that reference. Thanks, Pitt. Can I try to talk? Is it not working?
No, it's working.
Okay, great. I have a question for the Holder Maniacs here.
Okay.
Do you want us to talk about volleyball more frequently? Maybe especially the fact that Nebraska is the #1 seed in the tournament and beginning tournament play tomorrow night. Do you want us to talk about volleyball at all? Because I tried. I said, hey, I think we should plan X for the show, and I got summarily rejected. Like,
I don't think
wants to hear about volleyball.
Okay. That's not true. I said it. I think it's not time yet. We can talk about it, but it's not going to be an entire show. That's my thought. I don't think they get to weigh in on what we do.
Oh, okay. Sorry. This is a dictatorship. It's not we're not playing to the masses. We are playing to the individual.
All right, great. Now that you've opened up this can of worms, go ahead. Let's get raise your hand. Say yes, let's talk about volleyball. Or no, and we will go from there.
It's pretty. I don't want to call it a unanimous, but it's okay. There's a lot of people that want to hear it. Well, we can't do it tonight. It's too late to bring a special guest, but maybe next week, as long as Nebraska is still kicking butt in the tournament. They do open up the NCAA tournament tomorrow against Liberty, I believe. Maybe not Liberty. LIU. Long Island University. Never mind. That's not at all Liberty. Probably not even in the same time zone. What do I know? The interesting thing about the Nebraska bracket is, of course, Nebraska's number one. They're number one in the tournament overall. And sitting at number 2, way down on the other end of the bracket, is Louisville. Danny Busboom Kelly's former team from a year ago. So that is for sure going to be a story, a developing story, assuming both teams continue to progress and succeed. And let's see. Melissa says volleyball, basketball, ladies and men all undefeated. Mark Ryan says they won't lose.
Maybe it's because we're not talking about them that they're doing so good. Like maybe it's us.
Okay. Well, I hope that's not the case since we just talked about them. Like I'd feel really bad if we just doomed them. So.
Yeah.
But the tournament has begun. Some teams have already advanced. Number 1, Arizona, or I should say number 2 in the bracket on the bottom right, Arizona State is leading Coppin. Utah State's already defeated number 7, Tennessee. Like some teams have, some ranked teams have already gone down. So some upsets already taking place. It's, North Carolina, for example, beat number 6 UTEP. It's going to be exciting. We wish the ladies all the best. Can't wait for their continued success. The first rounds for Nebraska are Friday night, Saturday night, and then, so we've got some opportunities to watch them here. And then we have to wait and see how it plays out from there. Probably, I don't know how long it takes. I don't think it's nearly as spread out as the NCAA men's basketball tournament. So hopefully we don't have to wait a week for more games. I'm just not that well versed on the volleyball tournament. So that's all I really wanted to say about volleyball. Wish them well and excited for their continued success.
Okay, so Friday and Saturday, tune on in.
Yes, 7 o'clock Central both times. The winner of Nebraska Long Island plays the winner of Kansas State San Diego. So.
Okay. All right. So, question. Do we even want to talk about Iowa?
No.
Okay. Do we want to talk about any news that we got this week?
I mean, I feel like we probably should, right? I mean, we lost a coordinator. We had signing day. Okay.
I mean, I'm game.
Okay.
If we could just maybe touch on Iowa.
Sure.
Okay, good. So we played Iowa last Friday. Hasn't even been a week.
It's true. That's how weeks work.
And already you've already moved on from it.
It was depressing. It was worse than the 13-10 losses that we had the last 2 years because we were competitive and at least took those down to the wire. This one got out of hand this one got out of hand before halftime. And Iowa did, to the very best of Iowa's ability, kept their foot on the pedal and just mowed us over like errant dog shit in the yard. We were spinning, flinging poo out of the lawnmower. That's what we looked like on Friday.
It was kind of disgusting. But, in a recap, we looked just as bad, actually a little worse against Penn State.
I will say,
Mm.
I think comparisons were made ahead after Penn State and ahead of Iowa. Is on paper, Penn State was a team that was in the semifinals last year, right? And
Mhm.
you returned a lot of talent. They had some misfortune early on, ended up firing James Franklin. But on paper, they were a better team. And they showed it. I mean, a couple of really great running backs. Even their quarterback, was not named Drew Aller, but still played at a high level. And their defense was their defense. I don't think, and maybe this is where we as fans or we as maybe the star website, the star rating services, either misevaluate, we misevaluate as a coaching staff, or we don't properly develop players. But on paper, we were the better team than Iowa. And like David Matney said, Emmett Johnson runs for 217 yards. Can you imagine? You run for 217 yards on Iowa and you still get your shit kicked in? Like it's
incredible.
unconscionable.
It's incredible. And it seems like only Nebraska could pull off that kind of a feat.
We were legendarily bad.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, it hate to say, but it kind of broke me to an extent.
Think about how it broke certain players. I mean, think about Emmett Johnson.
Yeah.
You pull off a game like that, and you still just
No support.
Yeah. That's who I feel bad for the most.
And honestly, it's why, as Minnesota Tony says, any news on Emmett Johnson, it's why I encourage, like I no skin in the game. I'm a Husker fan, but I'm a fan of that young man. If he was gonna hit me up on X or something like 5 Heart Podcast, man, what should I do? What should I do? Go to the draft, sir. Get as much as you can, because running back legs seem to only have X amount of miles on them. We were fortunate enough, we probably underutilized him for his first 2 years. And finally, we abandoned that running back by committee approach. We had a default number 1, and then he scorched. I don't know his exact numbers. I'm sure I could look, but I bet he had over 1,500 rushing yards or close to it.
Mm-hmm.
And he seemed to get better as the season went on, while the rest of the team didn't, and he can only do so much. Like he can't play defense. He can't take better angles at the ball carrier. He can't shed blocks and get into the opposing backfield. He shed tackles remarkably, like chef's kiss. So if he was asking my opinion, I say go get paid. Like not NIL money where you're still, assuming nobody else jumps in the transfer portal, where you're still not going to be the highest paid player on the program. Go chase the bag, go to the draft and start earning big money. That's what I would tell him.
Do you think, okay, I'm playing devil's advocate, not because I want him to stay at Nebraska for another year. Yes, I do. But that has nothing to do with this question. Do you think it would be good for him, given the fact that he has actually gained in strength and ability throughout this entire season, to maybe give it another year? If he continues to progress like that?
I like the idea, but if I were him, or if I were advising him in his camp, I would be that much more fearful of some type of debilitating knee injury or something like that, could really wreck his NFL chances.
Yes.
Like
I understand that.
Hmm?
I understand that only because running backs, their shelf life seem to be not as long. Hate to say it like that,
Yeah.
but although he, knock on wood, he's been immune.
Honestly, we already heard that Rocco Spindler's not playing in the bowl game. He's going to have that surgery, I think, on his hand that he's been playing with since the maybe not Michigan game, but the Minnesota game, I think. Is that maybe that's when he got hurt? If I were Emmett Johnson, I wouldn't play in the bowl game either, honestly. And I wouldn't, as a fan, I wouldn't be upset with him at all for making that it's time for him.
You just don't even care about the bowl game, it sounds like.
No, I do. And I'm very interested to see who we end up playing where. But why, if he's going to the NFL draft, which I think he should, why would he risk playing in the bowl game where, again, I mean, we saw the field conditions at the Pinstripe Bowl last year, and they're not going to New York City. That's not going to be like that. It's probably going to be on a turf, hopefully in a dome. But why risk it? It's not worth it to get the goodie bag, the swag or whatever.
Mhm.
I don't see the risk of Emmett Johnson going through that. Just go start preparing for the draft. Start, hopefully, prepare for the combine. I think, he was just named today the Big Ten running back of the year in a conference that had the Penn State running backs, Justice Haynes, who of course got injured, Bo Jackson at Ohio State, Emmett Johnson on 7-5 Nebraska was the Big Ten's running back of the year and was first team all Big Ten on, I guess, both coaches and media polls. I would say you've done all you can do. Your resume is, I don't know how he makes it look any better without, a Doak Walker or a Heisman Trophy. I don't know how he's not even a Doak Walker finalist. I don't want to get into that. I just think he needs to make a decision that's in his best interest. And if I were his coaches, if I were anybody advising him, I would say our facilities are open to you as long as you need them. Go get drafted, young man.
Yeah. So who are they talking about? Nelson. Which Nelson?
I don't know. Mekhi Nelson?
Oh, is that who they're talking about?
Because they're talking about running backs.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, honestly, I think the reason that our signing class for next year isn't very good. I think we're in the bottom of the Big Ten. Is because we plan on going to the transfer portal for any key positions, and the fact that we also already have young players. So we have a lot of young players that we're planning on developing. So we don't need to be signing a lot of new commitments as far as out of high school. They need to be transfer portal, maybe even JUCO.
That makes most sense. And we did sign a running back. Let's see, Coordination usually has a tremendous write-up about all this. And of course I won't be able to find it readily enough because that's just how life is. But let's see.
Yeah, they relied heavily on Emmett Johnson. Mark Ryan says the whole offense was EJ. If it wasn't for Emmett Johnson and the yards he was getting, I mean, we would be a very sad team. Oh, and I mean, to be fair, not just the whole offense was EJ.
To be fair,
Luke Lindenmeyer, we forget about him. Oh my gosh, that kid is amazing. Luke.
He needs I think maybe just work on some of his route running a little bit and his hands.
Fantastic. He's going to be amazing. He's going to be so amazing next season. Guys, we have Luke Lindenmeyer coming back. Yes. That's amazing.
Anybody else coming back that we should know about?
Well, yeah.
What's the inside scoop?
Well, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying, like, he's not graduating, right?
Correct.
He is getting married, though. And his fiance.
Jamal Rule.
Oh, go ahead. What?
I would say Jamal Rule is a 6 foot, 205-pound running back out of North Carolina, who committed to yesterday to Nebraska. So 6 foot, 205. That's a big boy running back. And we still have the kid out of St. Louis that we signed last year, Mekhi Nelson. We've got Quentin Ives. Showed things. And I know I'm missing one. Isaiah Mosey. We have some depth, but this is what happens when you don't do running back by committee. It's what happens when you have a designated RB1 is some of the other guys don't have as many carries. They don't have, as many opportunities. I expect, again, Foley, Emmett Johnson to go to the draft. Somebody said, go into the transfer portal so he can try to win a Heisman next year. That is, I think, that's a low-sum game. That's big risk, big reward, but I don't see it, because again, they're going to be top-notch players next year. Just look at some of the hype. If you watched the Ohio State-Michigan game, and I know you did, because you have to for ladies of college football, that Bo Jackson's getting a lot of love, and he's a true freshman. Justice Haynes, I imagine he'd be coming back because I think he's a true freshman as well. Those are just two running backs, and running backs aren't typically favored at the Heisman ceremony anymore, not like they used to. So I just think Emmett's best bet for long-term success is to go to the draft. Just my opinion. So
interesting. I don't know. I'm kind of torn. I get that injury, running backs are injury prone. But boy, did that kid have, his season just started off kind of like here. And it just, it just kept going up and up and up and up. And I just wonder, okay, if he gets another year of that, how awesome he could be.
Yeah, well,
I don't know.
Sure.
I would love to see it.
Let's do, while we're doing a dive in Emmett. So I said about 1,500 yards, finished with 251 carries for 1,451 yards, 12 touchdowns. He averaged 5.8 yards per carry. And, as we look at, I'm trying to find the splits here. This is what happens when I try to do things on the fly. He had 4 games where he didn't run for 100 yards. They were Houston Christian, which we knew because he got, taken out after halftime. Michigan had 65 yards against Michigan, 83 against Michigan State, 63 on the road at Minnesota. But he had 124 against Northwestern, 165 against USC, 129 against UCLA, even 103 against Penn State, 217 against Iowa, 140 against Akron, nothing special there. 176 against Maryland. So the dude just ran the ball. The three touchdowns for on 83 yards rushing against Michigan State. I just overall this season he had over 1,800 all-purpose yards, and he lost 1 fumble all season long. So I just think he needs to go get paid. In my opinion, I think he just needs to go get paid.
Okay. People are worried about him coming back because it seems like they've already put next year's season wadded it up
The
like a
schedule.
piece of paper, and they're just like, let's hit the trash with that one because we have no chance of winning anything. It's tougher. Maybe somebody just said, maybe we win 3 games. People are fans really don't have a whole lot of faith in next season. And this season, even though the regular season just finished, we still have a bowl game to play. We still have the transfer portal to go. Like, there's a lot that can happen between now and August of 2026.
It's true. And let's not forget too that right now we're feeling down, right? We lost the last 2, 3 of the last 4. We have a we'll just say bowl game question mark. We have to win the bowl game to be better this year than we were last year. Otherwise, we're 7-6 with 3 straight losses going in. You okay?
Yeah, we don't have to win the bowl game to be better this year than we were last year. The problem that occurred this year, you can disagree with me. I don't care.
No, I'm hearing you out. I'm hearing you out. I'm not trying to start a fight.
I'm just saying the problem this year is our season ended truly when you get that deep into the season with your starting quarterback, with the quarterback that the offense is built around, and he gets injured. We were 3/4 of the way through, right?
Yeah.
And you can't win. And we were lucky to beat UCLA, but you can't expect to, just continue winning when the play caller, it's different. I mean, you're starting a freshman for the first time. I don't think that the adjustments to expectations were made. I just really think that you have kind of at that point, you have to just kind of take what you've got and be like, okay, what have we done from beginning to, USC? And if it's better than what we did last year, then that is a plus. And it was.
It is.
We had to work through a lot, but we did. Dylan won us a lot of games.
I would say that, all right, I don't know how much I want to litigate this tonight, but Malcolm Hartzog won us the Cincinnati game. Akron and Houston Christian, you can almost throw out.
But no. Malcolm Hartzog did not win us the Cincinnati game.
He made sure we didn't lose. How about that?
Okay, how about this? He made up for his mistake.
Okay.
The team played well as a whole.
Yeah, we did what we always do, and we let a mobile quarterback get free, and it cost us in the second half.
Yep.
So, but we still had a monumental breakdown in November. Again, losing USC, which was a winnable game. And yeah, I'll talk more about what happens when you get 3/4 of the season or 2/3 or whatever the damn fraction is, and you lose your starting quarterback. But we go on the road. We beat UCLA, but they're not great, kind of like Nebraska, really. They were a one-man team, a one-man offense anyway. And then we get outplayed by Penn State and Iowa. And I would say that maybe Nebraska's biggest problem is you have such a drastic difference in QB1 and QB2 and their style of play. So you can't plug in QB2 and expect the same results as QB. And I know I don't want to say crucified. I don't want to be hyperbolic about it, but there were times on this show when I said we need to see some possessions, some series with TJ so that he can just get out there, show the defense another look. And instead, what happened is he had to go and try to clean up a USC game that, coming in cold, that didn't work in his favor. And then he had to go on the road. At least going on the road to UCLA was kind of like a softball. That was going back home for him, and I was happy that he got that win. But then he had to go to Happy Valley, and then he had to deal with Iowa on Black Friday, and that's asking an awful lot of him. And like you said, we had an offense that was geared for one type of quarterback. And that made it very difficult when Dylan got hurt to replicate those on the field results. QB1 and QB2 were just two different style of players, and I think it just made it very difficult in the November show date.
He doesn't have a broken leg. Okay, let me address a couple of comments. Can I, please?
He had a broken fibula.
Melissa says, Minnie, we are at the bottom of the Big Ten. Were we at the bottom of the Big Ten prior to USC? No, we were not. In fact, if I remember correctly, I think we were in the AP poll.
No, that was before Minnesota.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Thank you. And then Matney just asked, just shut up. Don't get excited. David Matney said, after a broken leg, will Dylan lose a step or two next year? Are you kidding? That is such a horrible question to ask at this point.
I mean,
and it's a
can he get any slower? I'm kidding. What's probably going to happen is that cement that they put in there to repair his bone is probably going to cause him to slide 4 yards short of the marker instead of 2. Because it's going to drag him down.
Yeah, no.
Kidding. Y'all, come on now.
You guys. Let's just, okay. And then I want to say that Aaron Keene asked the question, where'd it go? Minnie, give us something other than feelings and hope that point to a successful season next year. Okay. The most positive thing I can say about next year is that we're going to continue to have the same offensive coordinator, hopefully all of the same assistants underneath him, and another year of development. We have a very young team. Our team, I did all of the breakdown. I have it here somewhere. In all of the Big Ten, I went through every single roster and counted how many freshmen, how many redshirt freshmen, how many redshirt sophomores, how many graduates, how many seniors. Every single team has. Do you know we have the youngest team in the Big Ten other than Penn State? And I don't even know if all of their players were actually from their roster actually made it onto the field. We tend to let most of our players onto the field. We play our freshmen. So we have development in our corner. Another year of development.
High Mountain guy says, okay, all assistants, I'll bite. Even Uncle Donnie.
Yes.
Here's the thing.
You need consistency on the offensive line. And he has shown that he can actually have production.
Well,
go ahead, Greg.
Fractionally, Justin Evans being the fruits of his efforts, Rocco Spindler being a transfer, Elijah Pritchett being a transfer.
Well, you have to get the transfers. Elijah Pritchett wasn't playing to begin with because he wasn't able to get everything together. Yeah, the whole system together. So in order to do that, you have got to be able to teach guys.
This isn't for you, Minnie. This is for everybody else. If you're going to make a change at the coaching staff, you make it the same time you made the change of John Butler. So, like it or not, everybody, Uncle Donnie's here to stay. Unless he were to get a better paying job somewhere else. Please.
Oh my gosh, stop.
So I'm gonna. This is just for me.
Okay.
This is just for me, not necessarily for you. Although I don't think you'll have a problem with it, and nobody else in the chat has to follow this. What I'm going to do, I'm going to start for the rest of the show, offering what I call the most generous interpretation of all things Husker football.
Very nice. Thank you.
We're going to see how long it lasts because I am drinking.
Okay.
I'm going to try to.
Hey, speaking of which, we're already 40 minutes in. We should have 2 people joining us in our green room. Oh, okay.
I told them after 10. I don't know what time you're thinking.
I told them a half hour in.
Well, that we always do it closer to the end of the show.
Okay.
Besides, one of them is working on make sure his little baby's asleep.
Baby.
James Boardman says that Uncle Donnie can coach the center and the guards, and new assistant can coach the tackles.
Okay. All right.
Honestly, I don't know how many offensive line coaches you need, but we could use another pair of eyes on the tackles. So.
Yeah. Okay. How about this?
I could put my Venmo up there. DW1.
Yeah, Greg, your internet sucks. Something is sucking over there tonight.
Did it just start up again?
Like,
was it better?
Really blurry. Like, really bad. Like, I'm telling you, you ought to switch to your phone. Bad. That's how bad it is.
I'm listening. Keep talking.
Okay. Well, what I was going to say is, can we switch over again to defense? Let's talk about defense, because guess what's going on?
What's going on?
My dogs are barking. Phil Snow is back. Yeah, he's back. Back again. And guess who's helping him on defense?
I don't know.
Well, I think right here in our very own chat, we had people calling for this. And those people, I guess they're brilliant. You know what those people are called?
The Holger Maniacs?
Yeah, I want to say it was our very own Gary Pierce who just mentioned it just the other night before Rule made this announcement that he wishes. He's like, I just wish Mike Eckler would become our defensive coordinator. I believe that was him saying that. And guess what?
Is Eckler going to be helping?
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't that exciting? Now, that's also something to get excited about, guys.
100%.
Yeah. Yay.
I didn't see that comment from Gary Pierce earlier, and I didn't see the announcement that Coach Eck was, for lack of a better term, getting a minor promotion.
Yeah. I think it's really exciting. So we have a lot to look forward to at the bowl game.
There are going to be a lot more, hopefully, if it happens on kickoff or punt returns and blocked field goals and things like that, I think, honestly, Matt Rule needs to embrace being tackled every 5 minutes by Mike Eckler.
Yeah. I saw, what was it? I forget what we did at the last game. Gosh, I don't know why I'm forgetting it. But I saw Mike Eckler there on the sidelines going, yeah, like this, right there in front of Rule. And like, almost like I can guess that they must have had a conversation. Like, please stop tackling me on the sidelines.
You didn't know that?
What?
Like Matt Rule said, he's like, hey, I'm excited too, but you got to stop tackling me. Like, that's something he addressed it in a press conference or something.
I almost felt bad for Mike Eckler. Like, why wouldn't you want to get tackled? Like that.
Like living in Omaha, David Matney, the official realtor of the 5 Heart Podcast, says, anyone else annoyed that Rule acts like he's afraid of Coach X's excitement on the sideline? I'm bothered by it a little bit. Like, I want my coach to be as fired up as, when a momentum shifting, possibly game shifting moment takes place. Like, why wouldn't you feed into that energy? That you don't have to be so stoic all the time.
It was exciting to see. It's like, oh yeah, you could feel it. And I wish I was there on the sidelines with him. I'd let him tackle me. I would try and tackle him.
Super chat of $9.99. Adam Halperin says, bring back Bill Bush to coach the defense. He did a great job under Mickey Joseph.
I was thinking about that. That's so funny that you mentioned that, Adam, because I was like, I remember that was probably one of the quickest turnarounds I've ever seen on a defense or on any side of the ball. Was when Bill Bush took over. I was like, what kind of secret sauce does he have?
I don't know all that happened, but I know when Rule came in and kind of cleared house on the coaching staff, keeping only Donovan Raiola for some reason, I think Bush got, I don't say pissed off, but
he wasn't actually a real coach before that. That's why he was kind of just like playing the part, but he was really good. I mean, just look at what he did.
He'd be a tremendous advantage to have on the staff, but I don't.
And I just wonder, can it be done again? Can somebody like Mike
maybe not
Eckler,
Bill Bush necessarily, but
I'm just saying, like, can somebody like Mike Eckler get those? Could he get those same results? What if he's able to Ecklerize our defense?
Ecklerize the defense. I've never heard his name used as a verb before. I'm not.
Maybe we need to start maybe we need to change the name, not just Holger Maniacs. Maybe you guys need to be the Eckler Risers or something. I don't know.
I saw somebody in here saying, I got to scroll to find it. Vince says, can we get a new chat name like Eckler's Hecklers or something?
Oh. We could.
Maybe. That would mean more production work for Minnie, and I don't know if she wants to do that.
We could. That's off-season stuff, okay?
That's some fantastic March projects right there. Let's see. Husker Chuck says Bill doesn't want the job. James Boardman says Bill seems happy to be retired. Nebraska Strong, I saw your comment from a couple minutes ago. I am not ready to talk about the 2026 season just yet, and especially not give predictions. So we're gonna politely pump the brakes on that one, sir. Let's see.
Eric Chandler from Facebook says Greg, are you trying to click on it? No. I hope our defense needs to be good because they lost games for us. Yes, they definitely lost games for us towards the end, especially. But to be fair, we couldn't put many points on the game or on the board.
Yeah, it does seem like we've had issues where, to win a game, we have to score 35 or more points. Or, hold defenses to single-digit points. We've had offenses that have been anemic. We've had defenses that have been just, the floodgate of pain and torture. So, yeah.
I love this. Fred Sacco says, honestly, I'd be happy with Eckler as a head coach and let him build a killer staff of his own. What's interesting about this, okay, from everything I've heard from all of the chat from coordination, everybody's screaming, we have to get somebody that has experience. Da, 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 da. Mike Eckler doesn't have experience as a head coach or as like a defensive coordinator. I think he's been a linebackers coach, and he obviously has been a special teams coach, and we love him for that. Don't you think our head coach needs that? I mean, maybe you're just being like hyperbolic, but I'm just saying, like, I love the idea of getting somebody like a Mike Eckler.
I'm not ready to run Rule out of town yet.
No,
so I'm not running in, looking for his replacement. He just got himself an extension earlier this year. Let's see how we got to see how it plays out. Melissa. Lots of people go play for losing teams. They get paid to do so.
Yeah. Okay. Oh my goodness, look at this stat. Oh, if this isn't the most heartbreaking thing I've ever heard as a Husker fan. Husker Chuck says, in all my years, I can only recall 2 games that we won scoring less than 10 points. 1981 Missouri and 2018 Michigan State. So, in other words, Husker Chuck is saying, we got to figure out a way to score more points.
Right. We also got to remember most of the Husker teams for the 80s and 90s were, the 90s especially, were averaging, I don't have the exact stat. I apologize for not knowing, but let's say 40 plus points a game, on average. And the 80s probably weren't much worse as far as point. Those were teams that were consistently winning 9 games a season. I guarantee you that 81 Missouri game was a rock fight. And I remember the 2018 Michigan State game because that's the one where I think it was Brennan Riley got pushed out of bounds, came back in and made the game-winning touchdown in the snow. And that was a wild one. So and by the way, I would defer to Husker Chuck because when he says in all his years, he's talking about a lot of years.
I don't know how old Husker Chuck is. He doesn't look old, to be honest. He just talks like he's old. He's like, in all my years.
He says
4 scores 7 years ago.
1981 Missouri, we scored a touchdown with 30 seconds left and won 6-0.
Yeah.
Ooh. Aaron Keene, main question at this point. Are we lower mediocre or upper mediocre?
Lower. Right now we're lower. Are we on that same trajectory that Emmett Johnson was this season? Perhaps.
See, Worship Water says upper. I say upper.
How could you possibly? We suck. We freaking suck. We do have 5 offensive linemen that are good now, but they're not playing together even in a couple weeks in the bowl game. I
remember.
Our defensive line is really not great. They're good. They're not great for the scheme that we have, especially.
I'm approaching the rest of the show with the most generous interpretation. Therefore, I say upper mediocre.
This is true. I forgot. Hopes and feelings, like Aaron Keene accused me of.
Mountain guy says, Minnie, you're dropping your mask.
Am I? Guys, I'm a realist with an optimistic twist to everything.
Husker Chuck says at 7-5, we're just over middle mediocre. That's true. Statistically speaking, we are just over middle mediocre.
Who got us there? Dylan Raiola.
Solid mediocre. Well, TJ got us to the 7th win.
Dylan would have got us to that easily.
High Mountain Guy says absolutely lower. TSD, who's here? Hey, TSD, says lower. And I was wrong. I thought 2018 was the Brendan Riley game. It was 2015. Thank you, Every Game Jake, for correcting me. He was there for it, and he said it was electric. So Melissa says the only reason we made a bowl is because we had the easiest schedule in the Big Ten. Melissa, it's not the only reason. We
didn't have the easiest schedule in the Big Ten either, Melissa. You know who did? They're playing for the Big Ten championship this weekend. Indiana, which is interesting. Because if you watched every game, which I did, I watched every Indiana game, I watched every Ohio State game. To me, it looked like Ohio State had the easier schedule. Because when they played Texas, Texas was horrible. It'll be an interesting game this weekend. Sorry, what?
Indiana played Oregon.
Yes, they did. They did. Thank you. No, and who had the hardest schedule? I'll never forget this.
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. They had no hope. They still beat Illinois.
Husker Chuck says we're the only team that dodged OSU, Indiana, and Oregon.
This is true.
And we're not going to dodge any of them next year, but we're not here right now to talk about 2026. We're here to talk about bowl game. Minnie, you keep your ear to the ground, ear to the speaker, eye to the news to know the whispers, the rumors. What are people saying? Where are people saying Nebraska is going to go for a bowl game?
Well,
do we have any favorites?
Yeah, we do. I mean, it's pretty clear what I've heard, and I would be surprised if it's different. Come Sunday, Monday, probably Monday, we'll hear, is they want us in Las Vegas. Which, if you guys remember correctly, that's where the Big Ten Media Days is.
I didn't know anything about Big Ten Media. Do you know anybody who went to Big Ten Media Days?
I did. I mean, I enjoyed.
Can you prove it? Do you have any Big Ten Media Days memorabilia to show?
I actually do. It's right here, front and center, right behind me.
That's more like
right over my shoulder.
A little to the left.
Yeah. So that would be fun. And I was thinking about, I was looking at the where all the rankings are right now. If we played a Big 12 team, who are we talking about playing?
Big 12 team?
If we did.
Probably Arizona State.
Okay. Arizona State?
That's what I said.
That'd be fun. This would be a well-attended game. Because I want to say...
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I want to say there's as many Arizona State fans here in Arizona as there are Nebraska fans.
It would be the Jeff Sims revenge tour.
Wouldn't...
Where we probably have 300 yards rushing against us and no turnovers, and we lose by 43 points.
That would be such a... But, oh, gosh. That Kenny Dillingham, their head coach, knows ball. He's a good coach.
Okay.
I've
heard, while Vegas seems likely, I've also heard whispers about the Music City Bowl in Nashville.
I don't see that happening.
Well, here's the thing. I think this is what's crazy about bowl selection. It really has very little to do with the team on the field and much more to do with the number of fans willing to travel. So I just don't know like the pecking order for the bowls and who gets first. Outside of the playoff teams, like what bowls get. But there are going to be bowls that are going to just look at Nebraska, not for what we can bring on the field, but for the number of fans we can bring to the stadium, to the local economy. That's why like I said, I don't know if it's as nearly as much to do with the game itself.
I like this idea. Husker Chuck says, I'd rather play Lane Kiffin and LSU in Nashville. Woo! That would be fun.
I don't know if, would he coach the bowl game? I don't think he's obligated to coach the bowl game.
He would coach who else would coach the bowl game? They don't have
interim head coach.
No, he would coach it.
I just think it's too soon. You're trying to implement. You're trying to implement a way of doing things. He might stand on there and say, just look like the focal point, but I don't know if he have much say as far as coaching goes. I don't know. Be interesting to see. Maybe that's another little wrinkle.
Because Brian Kelly left. Let's see. They fired him halfway through the season?
Yeah.
Okay. So the interim head coach
with an interim head coach.
Husker Chuck. He can walk around. He can walk around with a unplugged headset. It's Lane Kiffin. He's going to be plugged in.
Sacco Fred says Lane won't coach in the bowl game, but he'll go be a jerk at the local hot yoga class. And Gary says, win or lose the also Rand Bowl, what does it matter? It means 13 more practices for the players. It just means.
And it gives us something to look forward to. Guys, come on. Don't you want to see what a Mike Eckler defense looks like? I do.
Like assisted defense.
Yeah, we know how he works. We know how he rolls. He doesn't do anything halfway. That's why we like him.
Pitt says, we can talk shit, but Lane's won 3x the games that Nebraska has in the past decade. True. And he's also done it at how many different places? I guess I saw a map of his like all the different places that he's been, from being an assistant at Alabama to being at Florida International, being head coach of the Raiders, USC, been in Oxford for a few years. So yeah, he's bounced around. I think the thing with Lane Kiffin is he's just, I think he gets bored and he's always looking for greener pastures. And like the grass ain't always greener on the other side. The grass is greener where you water it and fertilize it. So.
Okay, whatever. I mean, that's the name of the game in college football.
He was born in Nebraska, Melissa.
He was born in Lincoln, in fact.
And I think he has ties to Lexington, Nebraska as well. So.
Oh, Lexington, that's where he was born. You're right.
Well, I don't know. I'm just here.
Okay. Where do you think our other buddy is, Jake?
I don't know. I don't think we're supposed to announce him like that.
Okay.
I didn't know it was time.
It's 10.
Let me send a message out to this our other individual who's definitely not Jake. God, why can't we have surprises and nice things?
Okay, if you're wondering what we're getting ready for, it's the most epic five-part theater that I personally have ever written. So if you hate it, don't tell me. I think it's going to be good. Oh, there he is. There he is. There he is.
Okay. All right. Everybody, get ready. It's time for the 5 Heart Theater. Maybe. Where to go?
Oh.
Ha! Yeah, my computer's stuck. Okay, let's try this again. No. Welcome back to 5 Heart Theater, where the emotions are high, the facts are questionable, and the Kool-Aid is probably expired by now. The wheel, titled The Wheel of Agony. Welcome to the Husker Wheel of Agony. I'm your host, Greg, and tonight we're spinning for answers nobody wants, prizes nobody asked for, and sorrow everyone's already feeling. The hell?
And I'm Minnie, your letter turner and former chain gang captain / unofficial Dylan Raiola stalker. Don't worry, he knows, or he will.
I'm only here because nobody will let me march down O Street with torches and pitchforks.
Let's get this over with. Iowa still sucks. Defense can barely wrap up and make a tackle.
Okay. Before we get started, breaking news. Matney is officially organizing the Great O Street Riot of 2025. Pitchforks? Check. Shovels? Check. Old-timey lantern held menacingly? Double check.
I attended a meeting. He's planning a march down O Street shouting, "Fix the offensive line or perish." Honestly, I kind of respect the commitment.
You would. You're the guy who still believes you can will this team to 12-0 by drinking the right beer.
So we have Mr. Matney, and of course, we have Jake. Your line.
Oh, Jake, I swear every time you flex your arm, you gain a new muscle. Greg, have you ever lifted?
Not in public, and please stay out of my personal affairs.
Huskers got to get tougher like me.
Jake, you're the only person who treats a YouTube stream like it's a duck blind.
He's a good dude, though. Would absolutely run through a wall for Nebraska.
Already did. Drywall's cheap enough.
And now a word from our sponsor.
What's Greg drinking today? What's Greg drinking today? Whoa.
What's Greg drinking today? The only segment where my liver cries and Husker fans judge me. Tonight I'm drinking a brand new flavor, Husker Sorrow. Bold red blend with notes of regret, missed blocks, and just a hint of, why do I do this to myself each and every week? Pairs beautifully with an offense that can't seem to stay healthy. Now back to the show. Round 1, teams who fire coaches for winning 9 games. This one's a daily double. Teams dumb enough to fire coaches who win 9 games. Go.
Nebraska and Penn State.
Correct. Bonus points for saying without crying. On to round 2, contestants. This coach was born in Nebraska, lives in the SEC, and some say allegedly has the energy of a college football. Oh.
Ding, 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 ding. Lane Kiffin.
You'd win here, though.
But he's still a hoe.
Next category, Matt Rule inspirational quotes. Finish this quote. If we die,
we die.
Well, I guess we died.
oh, there we go. And for 300 points, Nebraska recently lost to Iowa by how much?
40 to fucking 16. And they're not even good.
And
They're
Penn
Iowa.
State.
37 to 10, and I haven't recovered.
And who just got fired?
John Butler.
He lasted as long as a Husker lead in the fourth quarter.
All right. For the win, contestants, when Nebraska loses again, what will Matney be doing?
I'll be marching down O Street with my torches, pitchforks, and lanterns.
I'll be reviewing film because someone around here has to know what the hell happened.
I'll be watching Dylan Raiola highlights.
And I'll be drinking Husker sorrow.
So between Matney leading a 19th century style riot, Greg drowning in Husker sorrow, Dylan's leg trying to detach itself, and Jake aggressively flex spitting.
Hey, drown your sorrows before they drown you, and it's just another week in Nebraska football.
And we'll be here next time, probably crying, but here.
Hope is optional. Sarcasm is forever. That was a tremendous amount of fun.
That was a lot of fun.
Matney, you're all right. You're still laughing. That's
I'm glad I didn't watch the chat.
let's recap. Let's see. We've got. Gotta find it here. Here comes that surprise that includes Jake. Yeah, that was given away. Jake jumps out of the cake. Aaron Keene says Matney is Five Heart Theater, our version of the Rule podcast. Let's see. Fred's telling me to get my shit together. Take two. Off to a good start. Flag on the play. False start. The pixelated man. Thank you. No special guest from Santa Todd. There's a drum solo at a concert. It's time. Come on, Boardman. Jeez. I apparently pulled a Pritchett. I'm not. You know what? You can say I had a false start. You don't have to make it weird.
Oh, that's funny.
It's official stalking. We knew that. Fist bump Jake. Fist bump Matney. Waiting. I'm going to keep looking for fist bumps Minnie or Greg. Pitt says we'll call them pitforks instead of pitchforks. Ernie says, haven't seen this segment yet. Look forward to it. I thought I accidentally got into an OnlyFans account for a second. That's nope.
Not yet.
Keep trying, Greg. We'll continue to keep trying. It says Jake's a good dude. I don't even mind the toddlers he eats.
I don't even know where that started. It's like a recurring joke it hasn't been brought up in a while, but
Aaron says, quote, "This is the best script I've ever written." Minnie, as she misses her line.
I know. That's typical.
Lord. Accurate description, official beer of Husker Nation. Never forget the secret side chat. Speaking of link, no, we're going to skip that one. We had a great week of practice. Yeah, we definitely need to. Well, no, we're out of the Scott Frost era. I think Scott Frost is out of the Scott Frost era based on the picture I saw of him after the BYU game. Let's see. Is it a green? Oh, Fred wants to know if it's a Green Lantern. Mr. Matney, it's your riot down O Street. Is it a green lantern?
Whatever lantern. I don't know. I didn't even read that. I didn't even read the other people's script part. And I'm like, and then as we're going through it, I'm like, I better read the other person's part to clue me in as to when to go. You know what,
Tony,
though?
Tony wants to know if Minnie, are you auditioning for The Price is Right?
I am. Yes. How do I do?
That's great.
Did all right. It says that Jake's left tit outweighs him.
That's hilarious.
No tits yet.
Minnie, did you go to film school?
Oh, yes. Can't you tell?
I thought I saw. An appropriate TSD comment would be something about jumping the shark. TSD does like your red light setup.
Thank
little,
Yeah.
This is a family show after all. Oh, and then Zach wants to know about your right tit, Jake.
Oh my gosh. People are really I'm not the only one. I wrote the script because I'm always like, okay, Jake's the only person I know who sits on the freaking stream. He's like this the whole time.
Well,
I'm like, how do you do that? You're just like with your oh.
that's not intentional, by the way, because I don't feel like I look very good, especially right now. I haven't been working out as much, but I tried to get a setup by the bar, but I can't get the writing light.
Mm-hmm.
It washes me out or it's too dark. So the only way I can set this up is in this recliner in this spot, because otherwise the lighting is terrible down here.
Hey, if you want to talk about lighting, just know that this is where I sit every week.
Yeah, but you're not like washed out or it doesn't like drown out like the rest. When I was testing it over here earlier before I got on, I was going to try a different setup. It looked so bad. I'm just like, go back to your regular.
Okay, we don't mind. We just I was like, okay, I gotta point this out. Like, I gotta take this opportunity. And the fact that you're always spitting, I'm like, okay, this is like too good.
Yeah, bad habits.
Yeah, but it's character building, or it's a character, anyways.
I have a question for living in Omaha, David Matney, the official realtor of the 5 Heart Podcast. How's business, brother?
It's doing really well.
Yeah,
Believe it or not.
Are you helping people get into their next forever home?
I am.
Yes, it's a blessing, man. I'm happy for you.
But you know what, though? I will say this, though. On a serious note, in terms of this 5 Heart Theater, I mean, we can see how our show is. And, that took time to produce and stuff. And so just a 2-minute show like we just did, the 5 Heart Theater, Coach Rule is doing an hour show.
You are not going to let
I'm
that
not going
go.
to let that go. I'm not going to let that go. I mean,
Yeah, so here's the thing. And
They don't have scripts, okay?
there's so much more thought that goes into the 5 Heart Podcast now, since Minnie's been on the show, than in any time before. It used to be, and I've said this publicly. I mean, basically just punishing myself. It used to be me and John.
Greg.
Yes.
Before I came,
16,001.
Your show. It was your show only, okay? And I said, no, I'm going to make it our show, and we're going to work together. He didn't want to work together. We ended up working together. And so I make him work with me on every show.
Yeah, but that takes time, and it could be time many you could be spending with the team.
All I was saying before I was interrupted for the 16,001st time, somebody, I think Keen or Pitt was late, and they said, "What did we miss?" And Fred says, "Minnie interrupted Greg for the 16,000th time. Balloons fell from the ceiling. It was great." But we used to it used to be just me and John. It was not live, but whatever the appointed time was to get together, we'd sit down 10 minutes before, be like, "What do you got?" Like, if I know. And he'd just laugh, and then he'd cuss me out, and then we'd hit record and we'd go. But there's actual preparation now. And this is just for, I hate to say, I mean, we have a lot of fun, but at the end of the day, this is just a silly little show done by fans of Nebraska for other Nebraska fans. But there's so much production time in Matt Rule's show, whether he's, talking
He
to
hires people
celebrities.
for it.
Hmm?
He hires people for it, and he gets paid to do it by these products that he reps.
Like I understand it both ways. It's great for the brand because it's more eyes on Nebraska football. It's more eyes on the end. His time on the Pat McAfee show. I understand that side of it. I also understand the frustration of like, if we're winning football games, nobody's talking about the time that Matt Rule's spending doing YouTube content or Pat McAfee content, because
Let me ask. I know I interrupt you all the time. I got it. Because Matney asked this question especially. Okay. David Matney.
Yes.
No, excuse me. Living in Omaha, David Matney, our official realtor of the 5 Heart podcast. Would your business be as successful as it is without your YouTube presence?
No, it would not. No, not at all. Okay, that's where I get the big chunk of my business. But here's the thing, though. I mean, it still it takes a lot of time to produce, and it does. I mean, I get it. He has a staff, and he's showing up, but I guarantee you, he is doing at least one walkthrough rehearsal. It's not if he spent an hour. I bet you he spent at least 2 hours in preparation of that, at a minimum. So a total of 3 hours. I would be interested to know that he didn't just on the fly.
There's editors. There's people editing his video content,
But
so he can do it on the fly.
Yeah, but but still,
But
though,
it's not live.
Okay, it's not live, but it's still, though, you do 30 minutes of rough cut of 30 minutes to do a 10-minute video. So he still spent that 30 minutes. If he was winning, I'm all for it. But if you're not winning, then you need to be 100% focused on the task at hand. The task
at hand is to get great players at Nebraska. Always.
Yeah, but
that's how you have to think as
when you really seriously watch this show, do you really think? I think it's more of a fan playcation thing. I don't think it's necessarily.
Players love it.
I don't think.
Here's what I know. I went to pick my daughter up from gymnastics last night. I took her over to the freaking, I don't know, what is it? Like an acai bowl, smoothie place right next door. So I see girls walk in, teenage girls walk in, sit down at this acai bar. They're all together. They all look cute. And I'm like, oh, that's fun. Every single one of them takes out their phone and is like this.
I get it.
Because this is what players do. They're looking at who's popping up on their streams, who's popping up in social media.
It would be interesting to look at the analytics to see who actually is tuned into his program. That would be the ultimate test. I don't see a bunch of 18-year-old guys tuning into that thing.
I think
it might be for the parents. It's probably for the parents before it is for the guys. The guys ain't looking at it.
To get like a better understanding of who this coach is that we're entrusting our child with.
Yes, I bet you it's all about the parents and saying, hey, I want my kid to play for that, because the parents are going to have a big influence on that kid. And they want to know, it gives them an opportunity to meet Rule before I get it. It's a way for him to introduce himself to the parents before they even meet. Okay, I see that. I would just say, let's do it during the off season. In February, March, nobody's going to care about. But in season, having an hour show, like Tom Osborne did. Okay, that was a really canned show, something like that, where he's doing something like that. But I don't really. That's my take on it. And I'm going to die on that hill, because I just don't see where during season every hour is so precious that you need everything devoted to that hour.
I'm just not worried about it. I figure he has a handle on his own schedule. He has people doing everything that he can't do.
I get that, and I'm sure he does. And like I said, didn't he hire someone? Didn't I hear someplace where he hired some sort of a consultant to come in to evaluate everything they do as a program?
Yes, you're right. He actually told us
Which
that.
which is a smart move, but I bet you that consultant is going to be like, "Hey, you need to can that podcast because that ain't going over too well with the fans."
I don't think so, and I'll tell you why. I think that's what got his foot in the door to the Pat McAfee show.
McAfee?
McAfee. However, I can never say people's names right. Okay.
He was on McAfee
Sorry, sir.
before a couple times, Minnie.
Yeah,
Then he
that's-
started his own thing.
And that's and like I said,
No, he was on it as a guest a couple times before, but no head coach has been offered a position to where you can come back every single week.
Yeah.
Well, and like I said,
That happened because I believe because of his podcast.
I mean, time will tell. I mean, is it really gonna I mean, ultimately it comes down to those players are gonna go. I mean, I just think an hour. I mean, I'm just gonna, and I'm not the target audience for his podcast, so it's like I'm naturally gonna be turned off.
Pitchfork Matinee isn't.
I'm gonna watch it just to get irritated. I'm surprised they have the comments still left up about it, or they probably really censor those comments. And I don't comment on it or anything like that. I get it. I mean, and I'm sure. I don't know. I mean, it's disappointing to me because I just think, well, I mean, are we going to believe this off season? Because we were told a lot of things off season about we were hell on wheels on defense and all of this other stuff off season. It's like, are we going to really trust what he has to tell us next off season?
I like this question. Aaron Keene asks, "What's the ROI on the podcast?" That's the real question. I think it's going to be return on investment. I think
I know what ROI means. I work.
it's hard. Okay. I think obviously I know but I think it's going to be for years to come. I do.
Well, this year it was 7-5, right?
This
was our
year
return
doesn't
on-
count. You can't have instant. You
This is
can't
year
have
one. This is where we lay the
success.
groundwork.
You can't have instant results. I mean,
Well, but I mean, right now our results.
well, we got a 5-star safety, didn't we? Maybe that's what got him here.
Speaking of right now, can I answer a question someone asked me directly real quick before it gets
About
lost?
the bowl game.
Can I please?
Is this the one?
Yes.
Melissa
wanted
says, Jake, with what you've seen this year with our team, what do you think is going to happen in the bowl game?
So it's a good question. And to be completely honest, I think we go into it and just see what happens and hope for the best, but it depends on our opponent too, right? It's looking like Utah in the Vegas Bowl, likely, like most likely at this point. I'm not very enthusiastic about a victory in that one, considering the skid we've been on the last few weeks. It feels a lot like, especially on the defensive side of the ball, the personnel that we have is, and I'll get to EJ in a second, but to address the defense first, the personnel feels like it's built more for a four-man front as far as the size of our players, like Winery and Lenhart and Davis seem more like true defensive ends in a four-man front. And we really, no offense to Elijah Judy, I always respect those guys that go out there and bleed for the team, but he's not really a star and he's not really a true three technique out there. So it feels like we're trying to run a defensive scheme that doesn't match what we have personnel-wise, at least to me. And then obviously if Emmett Johnson doesn't play, he accounted for, what was it, 37 or something % of our offensive production this year. Some kind of stat, something. I mean, don't quote me. It was something like that. He led the nation, right? He was the player that had the most percentage of his offensive production. First team All Big Ten running back. I saw today that was announced that he's, Oh man, the other big award, running back of the year. I'm sorry,
Doak
it's
Walker?
escaped. Not the Doak Walker. It was the Amici. The name's escaping me, but anyway, he won multiple awards, right? And he's with him not playing. I think it's going to be a pretty tall order, no matter who we play. But that being said, you don't go into it doom and gloom and oh, poor us. Let's watch us get our asses kicked again. And go in and be excited.
Yeah. Yeah. Heck yeah. And it depends on the offense that we're going against. Like, you have to realize in the Big Ten, every single offensive lineman is over 300 pounds. Our defensive linemen weren't.
Amici
Period.
gained. Oh, sorry, Minnie.
No, you're fine. I'm
I
glad
saw
I
that
gave
comment
you,
and then
I'm glad I gave you the moment to think of the name.
No, James Boardman pointed out the Amici Dane Award,
Okay.
the Ron Dane Allen Amici Award. Sorry. But I agree with you 100%, by the way. 100%.
Yeah.
And our biggest defensive lineman, if I'm not mistaken, is Riley Van Poppel, who's just shy of 300.
He's getting there.
I thought
He's
Judy was
putting on
over,
that
I thought
muscle.
Judy was over 300.
Is he? I could be mistaken too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But listen, 300. I don't want to be mean.
How much do you weigh? Come on. Tell us.
Like between 260 and 265.
How much does your left tit weigh? No, I'm kidding.
Probably about 15 to 20 pounds. I don't know. So
This is getting weird.
I don't know. Nobody really cares. We hear like television, you only see like half my body, but I'm 5'11" and I weigh about 260. So yeah, I'm not that tall. Thanks, Pitt. Yeah.
Fred says that Judy, the Iowa cheerleader, is at least 300.
Yeah. The Elijah Judy, I mean, if I'm going to be honest, he doesn't look like he's built with great weight. Now that doesn't always mean anything. Mick Stoltenberg, for people who have been fans for, in the past, at least the past couple decades, remember number 44. Mick Stoltenberg was a defensive tackle here 10-ish years ago, and he was built like a brick shit house. I mean, the dude looked like he could rip a tree out of the ground with his bare hands, and he wasn't really that great of a player. He was like an okay player here, like an okay run-of-the-mill starter. So you don't have to look like Tarzan, but Judy he's not the weight that he has doesn't feel like it's quality to me, and I don't mean that as a dig at him. He's just not.
Well, I know what you're saying. I've kind of always thought that, and I always wondered, okay, so it's his last year. Why in the world is he? This is his first year starting.
Yeah.
Kind of tells you something.
And I'm not in the strength and conditioning program down there, obviously. That should go without saying. I don't know a guy who knows a guy whose cousin, nothing like that.
Maybe you ought to be.
Maybe that'd be fun. I don't know how much value I could bring, but I
think you could be our next running back.
No,
You're like the perfect size for him.
Just give me the ball in the one, I guess. Maybe I'll push I don't know, but I'm not very quick anymore. But I wonder about the strength and conditioning program. And I hate to say that because I was a big Corey Campbell fan coming in. But with all the soft tissue injuries that we have, points to strength and conditioning potentially maybe not being.
Like what? What if we had specifically? I'm trying to think.
Oh, we've had guys banged up with soft tissue stuff, kind of all your Haas and I were talking about the other day, and you guys.
The only thing I can think of is Malcolm Hartzog with his hamstring, and that was at the beginning of the season before it really even began.
Yeah, we were. He got hurt in the second game, I think.
Yeah.
It also Haas, if he was on here, because he rattled off like.
I know Haas
probably
has like a Rolodex in his head.
He did. Like,
I'm just saying, I don't think. Like, I'm thinking of probably more recent injuries, and those are bone breaks. But
yeah. And even then, just because I don't have examples right now or whatever, but yeah, we had a lot of guys out, but it feels like I'm willing to venture that a lot of the strength and conditioning revolves around speed work and explosiveness, which is great. You have to have that to be an athlete. I don't know how much dedicated time there is to actual strength, like brute strength training, like what Boyd Epley was doing back in the 80s, not, during those years. I just wonder if it, based on the product we have on the field, if we've gone too far into the speed. I mean, you have to be fast, but I feel like we're sacrificing a lot of developing these guys' strength levels, the way they're getting kind of pushed around. But part of that could also be technique. So that's where I don't know. That's where I don't know for sure.
That's what I worry about the most, is technique being taught. That's why I am like dead set against firing the offensive lineman or offensive line coach.
I think that needs to be part of
I think the technique they're being taught now could use some work. But we have another year of development, I understand.
Yeah.
I mean, wait till Indiana. I wonder how good Indiana's going to be 3 years from now once they have a fully developed offensive line there. That's going to be pretty fun to watch.
Well, Matney. You want to? Okay, I've been waiting to debate somebody about freaking Indiana being like the thing in a jar that you just don't get.
Well, I mean, I would take any kind of a Saban, anybody off of the Saban coaching tree. I would go after that.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, the results on the field, apparently he's doing something right. Winning solves everything. And if he's
a great coach,
if he's 11-0, he's doing something right. I think there's something to learn from it. And apparently he doesn't have a podcast, so I would learn from that first.
There you go.
And he doesn't need a podcast because he's winning.
He doesn't need a podcast because players want to go play for him because he's winning. With Nebraska, it just wasn't like that. And I'll tell you why. When he came up from James Madison, he was able to bring every single coach that he has worked with for decades. His offensive line coach, his offensive coordinator, his defensive coordinator, everybody that he's worked with for decades, as well as the players that they developed. They all just kind of moved from James Madison and went, okay, we have this winning combination. Let's put it here.
Right.
And they've had all of those years of development together. That's what has made them so successful.
Well, and I understand. Okay. I'll concede that. All right. But also we were told that year 3 is the year 3 bump of Coach Rule. So we couldn't expect the same results because Coach Rule couldn't bring a bunch of people over from the pros along with him, player wise. Okay. So we were told, hey, we need 3 years to do that in order to. Now we're at year 3, and we were told we was going to be all that in a bag of chips on year 3, and we're,
supposed to have the favorable schedule that would allow that. Worship's Water has a great, maybe the comment of the night. Rules would say, "Google me, I podcast."
Guys are so funny.
Well, it'll it's all good. Nobody cares about my feelings about the podcast, so it's like
I care.
We don't care.
I care.
We know you
I
care.
care.
You bring it up every week, buddy.
He didn't have a podcast this week, did he?
No, I didn't see one.
I didn't see one. Yeah, probably because it's like, hey, I need to worry about coaching right now. So I think, what do they say that when you're in a fighter, when they talk about pilots in combat in a fighter jet, they have a narrow focus as when they're in combat. They're only worried about certain things. I think you got to have that same mentality as a coach. You should narrow your focus to where you're 100% focused on the task at hand and not on a podcast. You're never going to convince me that, this off season, do whatever he wants. He can do whatever he wants. But in season,
I think
I'm just going to be old school on that.
Okay. And I see it as you got to strike while the iron's hot. In season, people want to listen to you. out of season, when it's off season, ooh, it's scary. People just drop off like flies. You don't hear from anybody who does YouTube usually.
I can say that our numbers drop pretty drastically in the off season.
Right, but I mean, I didn't need Tom Osborne didn't need to be on he didn't need to be on the radio every day.
You're talking about Tom freaking Osborne. My gosh.
Well, but I'm
This
just
is
saying.
this is what our Tom Osborne. This is who you're comparing Matt Rule to. Okay.
Well,
There's a lot of building that we need to get to Tom Osborne level.
yeah, starting with firing the offensive line coach.
Oh, ouch. No.
James Boardman says that there was a podcast this morning with some of the new recruits and Prince Amukamara.
Okay, all right, I'll have to check it out. But I'm not. I'll
Check it out.
Okay, all right. Well, I guess this podcast is great, and it's going to be wonderful, and we're going 11-0.
Sometimes, okay.
Most generous interpretation, Mr. Manny. Most generous
In this day and age, you have to kind of just excuse my French, okay? You have to sometimes throw shit at the wall and see what sticks. If it helps get a couple more 5 stars in the door, a couple more players that are willing to play their heart out, like a Luke Lindenmeyer or an Emmett Johnson, then let's do it. Let's do it. I'm all for that. Whatever we can do to bring those guys to Nebraska, let's do that.
How about stepping foot in an Omaha high school? How about having how about showing up in front of those kids when they're in high school? How come all these kids from Omaha are going to all these other places?
I have no idea.
Well, I mean, I would rather see them. Like I said, I'm just a fan, and I, nobody. I mean, it's that's my take on it, and I enjoy dogging on the. I mean, I do kind of enjoy. If the podcast went away, I'd be kind of somewhat disappointed because now I don't have nothing to complain about.
So. Oh, you got plenty to complain about. I'm sure you'd find something.
I would. We get in football fights at my house too, so if we'll fight.
This is what I live for.
We have football fights at my house because we will, we'll have coaching fights at our house. We'll have, because Sam will say something and then Angie, we'll get really heated about it because that's just the way I don't know, but it's kind of fun. We do fight about it. So you guys aren't alone. It's just not just the chat. I have the same attitude at home. It's all fun though. I enjoy it. It was fun being on the show. I enjoy it. And I think it's fun to. I do enjoy the 5-Heart Theater. I think it's
Before we let you guys go, a couple of comments here. First of all, Vince Watson says knee circumference, tit weight. It's the new measurables. So keep that in mind. And then Melissa says, how long have each one of you all been fans? I've been a fan since 1983, and since Bo, we haven't been good enough to compete. So we will go just by order of what I feel in my heart is the longest. Mr. Matney.
Probably 77, 78.
Okay. How old was Mr. Matney in 77, 78?
I was a youngster at about 8 or 9.
A wee lad. Okay.
Yeah. So, and I remember my heart being broken and I used to, and all fairness,
never been the same.
No. Here's the deal. And I apologize. I was young and I used to get mad. Okay. I used to complain when we would put our second string in the second quarter. We would have our second string in, and I was mad because it's like, hey, let's run up this. It wasn't about sportsmanship, but I was mad because it's like, why are we putting in this set? Let's hang 80 points on these people instead of just hanging 50 on people.
Oh,
I used to bitch about that.
I'm quite sure that is music to Jake's ears. Jake, I love how you preach that. No, you never let up.
You don't. I mean, I'm not saying do like double reverse passes, but I'm also not saying don't put in your backups, but don't go into a turtle shell. Foot on throat, bury your opponent. That's, I mean, yeah, that's what I believe in. If you don't like it, stop it.
Right. It's like, get better. But but I understand what he's doing now. He was developing players. I get it. Okay. But back then I was like, golly, why don't we just, why are we, being, like I said, that's my thought process on that. And I used to be upset in the mid 80s after, we wouldn't win the big one. That bothered me too, because I used to complain about that. So, and I was upset when Frank Solich, I still have that fight at home about Frank Solich. I'm still upset about that. So, anyway, that's my thought process on that.
Jake, same question to you.
Yeah. I've been a fan ever since I could watch football on television. So
2004.
Yeah, I was born in 1995. Like, I don't care. I'll say that. So, earliest memories I have are the Jamal Lord years, being a kid watching him play. And what's crazy how spoiled we were. I remember like my dad and his buddies and my uncles and cousins like dogging that guy for like not being like that good or whatever. And like looking back, like he was a really good player, like a really good player here. Corey Ross, 04, 05, like those years are very fond memories for me. And then right about the time I was 12, 11 or 12, that was back when we had like, I remember we had a stable of running backs that were all really good. We had Marlon Lucky, obviously being a huge name, 5-star running back out of California. We had Kenny Wilson was here. Brandon Jackson was here. Those were kind of right before like the Halu, Burkhead, Amir days. Cody Glenn was, for some weird reason, my favorite player as a kid growing up. Number 34, a kid from some small town in Texas, I think. And I know he's from Texas, but anyway, like number 34. We had Quentin Castile, number 19. That dude was just a hammerhead. Like, so I remember like those were fun. The Bo, kind of the late Solich, Callahan, and then the Bo years were all very fond memories for me mostly. But I was too young to even remember the 01 Miami national title game. I have one distinct memory that I said on the first ever show I was on, Greg, and it was 2 years ago when I first came on, and we were talking about the same question got brought up. What my earliest memory ever regarding Nebraska football was. And I remember my dad talking to my cousin Rick, who's I almost thought he was an uncle because he was quite a bit older than me, but I remember him saying, there's no way we're just going to keep doing what we did all year. We're not going to be able to run crouch left, run crouch right, and just beat Miami. And I remember like specifically that happening. And I'm talking about, we got a shot against Miami. We're going to bring in some different. No, obviously that Miami team, we ran into a buzzsaw. But anyway, to keep it short, that was I was a fan as soon as I could watch football on TV. And even when I didn't understand football, I've been Big Red, dyed in the wool, born in it. And I'll be die hard till the day I die. Like
the old saying, for the two of you who were born into it, was it Husker born, Husker bred, when I die, I'll be Husker dead,
That's right.
And I was not born, everybody knows my story. I'm from Southern Illinois. So I didn't become a Husker fan until the 06 season. Like I had met Bill Callahan before I really considered myself a Husker fan. I got out to Shadron in 03, so I was there for the end of the Frank Solich years, beginning of Callahan, and it wasn't until BFOTS Josh Hansen and our friend Chris took me to a bar. We watched the first game I remember watching was 06 Nebraska USC, and we lost. And here I am, 19 years later, still calling myself a fan. So, to answer Melissa's question, have we competed since the Bo Pelini years? No, but I just didn't like the way we lost those games. That was like, even though we won 9 games, sometimes 10 games in the regular season, the losses were they were like the Iowa loss last Friday, each of those losses, it was untenable.
That 06 SC game was I actually cried.
What game did you cry?
06 USC.
I wasn't around then.
You guys know, I know, and I don't want to hijack this because next up is you when you start being a fan. But I was
no, everyone's already heard it here.
You guys know, when you're growing up, some kids are just criers. They cry about everything. They bang their knee. So I just wasn't a crier really of a kid. But
I'm so surprised.
No, and not that that's a tough guy thing. I just wasn't one of those.
Wasn't a crier either as a kid.
Oh, I bawled when we lost to USC in 06. I don't know why I was under the delusion that we were gonna win that game, and we were gonna make a national title run. I locked myself in my parents' bathroom and I cried after that.
I'm not laughing at young Jacob. The notion of locking yourself in your parents' bathroom.
Yeah. I remember my dad being like, "We never stood a shot, bud," and I'm like, "You don't know, get away."
Is this the Jake that had this kind of bowl haircut? What did you have going on in high school? This?
Yeah, I had that back then.
Hell, in 06, he was 11.
I was 11, but I had that back then. I had that kind of.
He wasn't this guy.
No,
back then.
I was a little guy. I was pretty thin most of my life until I was in my mid-20s. But nope, it's
what protein shakes will do right there.
That's right. Anyone
worships water
shakes
does want to hear your story.
Oh, well, it's a short one because I haven't been a fan that long. I've only been a fan for really. Next year will be 10 years. Yeah. So I became a fan because I was just seriously, it was on television and I don't know, it just caught my eye because there was this thing that happened. Tommy Armstrong got injured. He fell on his head and it was such a big deal. They made such a big deal out of it. They were at Ohio State. And they brought an ambulance onto the field. And I'm like, okay, they take the quarterback off. The beautiful blonde girlfriend is on the sidelines, crying. Is he okay? And the whole team is just stunned. And of course we lost. But it was one of those things where I was hooked from that point go forward because of the drama, watching a car wreck. That's what Nebraska football. That's where it got me. There you go.
Well, we thank you, David and
Thanks,
Jake,
guys.
for coming and being part of our theater. We're gonna
awesome.
lightly remove you so that we can. No shit, you removed himself. I didn't do it. I didn't kick him out. Jake, thank you, brother.
Yep. Thank you, guys.
Enjoy the rest of the evening. All the best to the family there.
Thank you. You guys be good. We'll see you later.
Thanks, Jake.
I don't know about good. We'll do the best we can given the circumstances that we have.
Jake is a good sport.
No, he was great. I don't know. All right, so let's fix that. Minnie, you ready to run through our starred comments and then we didn't really talk about our signing class. I guess we'll do that next week.
Yep.
Okay. So let's start at the very beginning. James Boardman says that Latif shouldn't have been out there after his injury against Iowa. No mobility, no weight shift when he was passing. I can't disagree. I guess that goes to show how even they thought a one-legged TJ was better than Graham Daddy or Marco Davila. Nebraska Strong says, Greg, we were not the better team against Iowa. Our D was a dumpster fire against Iowa. We gave up 231 rushing yards to Iowa. We put up a donut, 0 points, like I didn't know, on offense in the second half versus Iowa. No, I'm saying on paper. On paper, we were supposed to be the better team. And we got outplayed, outcoached. That's all I was saying. I hope it didn't come across anything.
Okay. I think you did.
Living in Omaha, David Matney, the official realtor of the 5 Heart Podcast, says, Minnie, I wish I had a 10th of your optimism.
I am going to bottle it and start selling it
Okay.
on my own YouTube show. Just kidding.
I would be
I
very
honestly,
cautious how you
I just haven't been as, like he was explaining. Poor little David Matney in 1978 getting his heart broken because we didn't score as many points as he wanted us to. I mean, he's had a long, long, hard life as a Husker fan. So I understand.
Here's another one directed your way from Nebraska Strong. Minnie, you better prepare yourself for Dylan to enter the transfer portal. All signs are pointing to Dylan leaving.
Really? Because
time.
everything I see, he's staying. He's all in. Everything I see.
Only time will tell, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Nebraska Strong also says to Melissa, the problem is that there just aren't going to be a lot of D linemen available in the portal. Now, I didn't start this one. You started.
I did.
One, so you have thoughts.
I did because I was just having a conversation with somebody, and I think because there are not these crazy signing windows that we had last year, that we're going to actually have more show up this season or this go round because of the way that they placed it. I think you're going to see a lot more players enter the transfer portal than we ever have seen.
And I could also say this because it has been such a crazy season for coaches being future endeavored that there may be guys looking for greener pastures. You know, there may be players looking for a place to land if they don't like what the landscape of their situation at their current school. Mark Ryan says, Greg, do you think playing the top running offense in the country will fix us? No, I think that playing the top rushing offense in the country will continue to break us, but we have to be broken down to where there's nothing left of us. Like if you don't think that we've hit rock bottom yet, wait until we play the nation's top rushing offense, if that's how it shapes up in the bowl game. And then you will see defensively us hit rock bottom. So will it fix us? No. Will it maybe make us better one day down the road? We can only hope.
Great answer.
I like this one from Vince Watson. He says, Dylan won't be ready by spring because dense bones take longer to heal.
Is that true? Is there any truth to that?
Probably not, but you've talked for a long time about the Polynesian bone.
I'll look into that, okay?
You do that. Clear your browsing history after you do is about all I can advise on that. Dense bones, do they take longer? Husker Chuck says, in 2 games after traveling to the East Coast and then playing on a Friday, we played a tight game in the first half and scored 0 points in the second half of each game. Yeah, East Coast trips followed by Friday games, not the best formula for Nebraska's success. I'd be interested in seeing what it looked like historically for Nebraska to do that, maybe at least over the last 3, 4, 5 years. I don't know how many times we had. You're right, Husker Chuck. We had a weird situation. We had 2 East Coast trips and then short weeks after. I don't know if that's common, so we'll see. Gary Pierce says, Minnie, Fred Sacco saying Dylan will play for Dunkin' Donuts. Are you going to smack him?
Yes.
Why?
I'll smack him down on Monday. Just
Dunkin' Donuts are fantastic. Like, they're simple. They're classic. They're not the best donuts in America, but for franchise donuts, they're pretty top notch. I might put. Ooh, this is going to be a hot.
You're kind of being gross right now because Dunkin' Donuts. The only reason I go to Dunkin' Donuts is to get like a tea.
Okay.
They do not have good donuts.
16,004. I was going to make a hot take. Is it even worth I'm going to do it because I was on track.
All right, we've already been here for 2 hours. Can we not do hot takes?
Okay. Let's see. Oh, we had a new recommendation for a new name for the chat community.
Yes, we already
Ecklers,
went over
Hecklers
that.
was one, but Aaron Keene says the Ecking Crew.
That's cute. That might work.
Pitt approved, and Aaron trademarked. So,
Okay, done.
Ecking Crew.
I'll work on the graphic.
Aaron also wants to know, serious question, does pro level interrupting require a class?
Actually, no, it doesn't.
It doesn't.
You just have to be his co-host.
It requires no class whatsoever. But Ernie says, I think big beefy guys are coming in the portal. There's a lot of ways you can interpret that one. Let's hope we get some linemen.
My poor puppy dog. He just is begging me. He's like,
That poor little puppy dog weighs like more than you, I think, at this point.
I know he does. But you know what? He can't, like, he's so wanting to go to sleep, but he can't go to sleep unless I'm near him.
Is there a chair that you could put him on to where he could like be on camera and not be?
He's so big, there really isn't.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Husker Chuck wants to know, can Nebraska ball beat Creighton? Because Nebraska men's basketball takes on Creighton this Sunday at 4:00 Central, and you can watch that on Fox Sports 1, FS1. Pinnacle Bank Arena will play host. We certainly hope that Nebraska can beat Creighton. We are not Jayster fans.
No, we're not.
No, we're not. And Gary Pierce says that Huskers Creighton will be out of hand like on St. Elmo's Fire. And that's not the only big game this weekend. We talked about volleyball, but of course, Big Ten title game. Husker Chuck is asking, I don't know if he wants our predictions. I think Ohio State's going to win. I think it's going to be closer than a lot of people are anticipating. Minnie, you got any conference championship games, CCG predictions?
Well, Greg, as you know, the only thing I even pay attention to right now is football. So
do you have a prediction on Ohio State, Indiana, the college or the conference championship game, which is what we're asking?
Okay. Is it just me? Or do we all want Ohio State to not win?
I definitely do not want Ohio State to win.
Okay. So I'm going with it would feel really good to get the Signetti ass whooping that they deserve, right? Yes.
Manny says Indiana. Husker Chuck says Ohio State by 7. Fred says Ohio State. Worships Water says Indiana by 17.
Ooh.
TSD says screw Ohio State. So
screw them.
It's going to be interesting. Husker Chuck also says Indiana winning would be awesome. The last one was 1967, he thinks. So
that would be interesting.
All right. I think that will be it then, Minnie, for this episode of the 5 Heart Podcast. Is that pretty good?
This is it.
This okay,
is it, guys.
Well, for my illustrious co-host, Minnie Hunt.
And thank you so much for my illustrious co-host who showed up and somehow is not blurry anymore.
Hey, time heals all technical difficulties. I'm Greg Mahotko. This is the 5 Heart Podcast. We remind you each and every week, and we have since 2016 that 5 Heart is all the heart you need. Minnie?
And thank you, Matney and Jake, for showing up and being such great sports, and for everybody in chat. You guys are so great. You're the reason that I love being here every single week and to argue and interrupt Greg. So go Big Red.
Fred and Braska both on a hot take. Dunkin' Donuts greater than Krispy Kremes. I'm out.